Hi, my name is Dominique Raviart and I work for Nelson Hall. Nelson Hall is an IT services and BPO services research and consulting firm, and I'm myself in charge of assessing what's going on in the software testing industry. And I look specifically at service offerings, IPs and tools, and also the delivery network, a little bit of the strategy and the financials.
This is a high growth industry, amazingly high growth industry that I would not have expected a few years ago. It continues to do so. So with this in mind, as I said, this is a scale industry, and scale is important now to create further offerings in the market, to create more IPs and tools, and also in terms of delivery. In terms of offerings, it's important because the breadth of services has to go deep and deeper, and also expand from not only now. There's been a lot of emphasis in the past years on mobile application testing, mobile app testing, security testing, and also seeing a lot of activity around agile testing. And the three of them being sometimes combined. This kind of portfolio is growing not only in software testing, but also into other areas like product engineering testing, mainly testing around embedded software and systems, and also testing around IT infrastructures. It's also important to have scale in India, because again, this is an India-centric type of industry, and therefore having more than 1,000, 5,000 at some point people for Cigniti is important, gives you access to the best people in India.
First of all, we like the fact that Cigniti is a high growth firm, both through organic growth and through acquisitions. Why do we like this? We think the world needs alternatives, testing pure plays alternatives to the larger IT services firms, and Cigniti is on its way to become a very significant mid-size IT service firm and also one of the largest software testing pure plays in the world.
I think there are two main items that make Cigniti somewhat different, quite different from other vendors. I've talked about scale, but it's also about onshore presence. If you think about the tier one competitors, whether they're pure plays like Maverick and Q Infotech, or even Indian origin firms like tier ones, TCS and Infosys of this world, the one thing that very much differentiates Cigniti has been its acquisition of Cigniti Inc. in the US, but if I'm not mistaken, 2 years ago, because then you have an onshore presence with an onshore sales force, but more importantly with people, testers, project manager, program managers that have an onshore intimacy of the client, and therefore they understand very well its requirements or his or her requirements. So we think having this onshore presence well complemented by scale in India is very important. We think it's unique, and we think that compared to tier one pure plays in testing like Maverick, Cigniti is unique in that sense. And we welcome the fact that Cigniti, as mentioned several times, it also wants to make onshore acquisitions in other geographies. Again, we think it's unique.
We also very much like the fact that Cigniti is a very profitable firm. Again, we like profitable firms because they most of the time have a lot of money and budget to invest into their offerings, into IPs and tools, into developing a relationship with their clients, as opposed to onshore vendors that have very low margins and therefore don't have the same budgets to develop their service offerings. So from our perspective, we like it. We like quite a lot because it means a lot in terms of offerings. And the last point I probably want to mention is we also welcome the development plans of Cigniti in the United Kingdom, in Australia, and in Canada. Again, largely because our clients operate in many countries. From a Cigniti perspective, we think it's clever to start, operating in English-speaking countries, and there's the fact that those countries tends to have higher GDP growth than the rest of Europe or than in Japan. So makes sense from our perspective. So this is really all I wanted to share about what we think about Cigniti. You can all tell it is very positive, and let me congratulate you on this show that you've been doing with Cigniti. Thanks, and have a good day then.